Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us as we look forward to UFC 278. We're going to start things off here with a quick intro video from the event, and then we're going to kick things over to UFC President Dana White and Chairman of Smith Entertainment Group, Ryan Smith.
All right, some breaking news for you now. The UFC is set to return to Salt Lake City, Utah for the first time since 2016. This time around, though, it will be a pay-per-view offering. UFC 278 set to go down on August 20th from Vivint Arena in Salt Lake. Tickets go on sale June 24th at Ticketmaster.com. And what are you coming to see? Well, we can tell you right now, the main event at UFC 278 will indeed be for the undisputed UFC welterweight title as Kamaru Usman makes the 6th defense against Leon Rocky Edwards, who finally gets his title shot. Daniel, welterweight title fight coming to Salt Lake City.
Here comes the man, Kamaru Usman, who has been nothing of spectacular in his UFC career. He is now not only winning, he is finishing dudes. This is the pound for pound best fighter in the world, the Nigerian Nightmare, an absolute star. People love Kamaru Usman. Nothing is better than watching a champion that is willing to go out there and go out there often. And Kamaru Usman, the best, has done it over and over again.
And Leon Edwards, the last time he was beaten was against Kamaru Usman, and all he's ever wanted was a chance for redemption, and now he gets it. But he's taken the long road, and he has proved himself to be the very best welterweight outside of Kamaru Usman, beating all challengers, knockout power, slick striking, conditioning, the mindset, everything you want to see from a contender. And he has a chip on his shoulder. He feels disrespected, and he's coming into this one not only looking for revenge, but to add another world title fight to the UK Championship, I mean.
And you gotta think the majority of the fan base really excited to see Leon Edwards finally get that opportunity.
Me first. Check.
What's that? Me or him? You first. All right, let's go. All right, so welcome everyone. What an honor to have Dana White here, President of UFC, and to welcome the first ever pay-per-view UFC fight to the state of Utah. We couldn't be more pleased on behalf of Smith Entertainment Group and also the state of Utah. Jeff Robbins, the Utah Sports Commission, we could not have done this without you. And this was truly a team effort to get UFC here, and especially, you know, the best fight and the best card that we've seen in a while. So I'm just going to turn over to Dana, but welcome to the great state of Utah, man.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be here. Thanks for coming out today. Any of you that know anything about how I operate, I like destinations. I like places where people want to travel. Great hotels, great restaurants, shopping, fights, and much like the UFC, this place is on fire right now, continuing to grow, booming, and becoming one of the global destinations in the world. So this should be fun. When we put on an event, we're in our 17th consecutive sellout since we came back from the pandemic with live crowds, breaking arena records. We just broke the arena record on Saturday, and our own record too for a fight night. And hopefully we do the same thing here. And you know, I just got here like 30 minutes ago, and you know, I've been to every arena in the world. I've only been to 2 spots in this arena so far, and this is one of the nicest arenas I've ever been to. I can't wait to see the rest of it, but they did an incredible job here, and I look forward to our fans coming out and not only checking out how badass this arena is, but you know, the city. So we're happy to be here. We got the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world taking on the #1 guy in the world. We got Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold on the card, too. Jose Aldo and Maraba on the card. And as we get closer, we'll continue to build this card out into, a killer night. And any of you that have been watching us through the pandemic and since the pandemic, Singapore was insane. Saturday was insane. I mean, the fights are just, I don't know what's going on right now, but it's been insane. So I'm going to bring that energy here, too, to Salt Lake. And if any of you're a fan, you live in Salt Lake City, there's nothing better than the UFC on TV. The UFC is awesome on TV. It is the greatest live sporting event you will ever see. Sorry, brother. It is the greatest live sporting event you will ever see. You think it's good on TV. You think it's fun watching it at home. You think it's great in the bar. Wait till you come watch it live in an arena like this. I guarantee you it'll be the greatest sporting event that you have ever seen in your life live. Utah Jazz, too.
Dana.
Hi, Dick.
We're going to open up for questions now. We have microphones. If you have one, please state your name and media outlet.
Over here, Oscar Willis from the MMAWeekly.com to your right. Dana, I just wanted to follow up on that. You mentioned Austin, Singapore, these great cards, and how you love going to new destinations. Are you excited to see what the Utah fans can bring to this one?
What was the end of the question?
Are you looking forward to seeing what Salt Lake City fans are going to bring for Fight Night?
Are you looking forward to what Salt Lake City fans can bring?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everywhere we go, I mean, anybody who follows, every time we go into a different area, that, the fans make the event that night. Austin, Texas was insane. Singapore, England, when we were in London London was so good, we're going back when we weren't supposed to be going back. So it's your turn, Utah. We'll find out what you guys got in August.
In the main event, you have Kamaru versus Leon. Kamaru is so dominant at this point, it's almost hard to find him contenders that people can believe will beat him. But in Leon Edwards, do you think we have a guy that actually might provide a real danger to the champion?
I don't hear Welsh. I translate over here.
Do you think Leon is going to be a big threat for Kamaru?
I don't know if anybody's a big threat for Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, and he's the greatest welterweight ever. All the Canadians are going to go crazy. But listen, it's hard to deny now this guy is the greatest welterweight ever if you look at what he's accomplished. Now he's starting to lap guys. He's beaten guys twice. I can tell you this. Leon Edwards is the #1 contender in the world right now. He's the guy that should be fighting the champ. So we'll see what Leon brings that night.
You keep breaking record after record in terms of ticket sales and sellouts. How exciting is that for you to be able to keep that run going and just continue to break every record you're already setting?
Yeah, I want to keep that run going for the next 20 years, but who knows? We'll see. Obviously, there was incredible pent-up demand coming out of the pandemic for all sports, concerts, and whatever it might be. We've been on fire, and we're continuing to go into some new markets now. You know how I am. I want to go to places that are easy to do business. If we can roll in and we can do business easily, I'm in. And this place has definitely been one of those places. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long this streak goes.
For Ryan, you mentioned the work that went into bringing the UFC here. So how exciting is it to finally culminate with a massive pay-per-view event?
I think it's just the beginning of what we see for Utah and Utah sports. I think that this is a big, statement from the UFC, not only the fight, but pay-per-view. I promise it'll sell out, we'll break the records. And I think that it's just the beginning, and I think that it shows you the growth in Utah and everything that everyone's been working for so long. And so this is just one moment in time that we're going to see kind of that pay off, and you'll start to see more and more and more, and we're just happy to be a part of it. But I think the alignment between us and the Sports Commission and just everyone rowing in the same direction has brought this and the many others that are going to come right behind it.
Over the past few years, we've seen cities like Jacksonville and states like Texas become hubs for the UFC. Do you see this place as one that can rival those guys and maybe bring the UFC back here multiple times a year?
Is that me?
To both of you.
Yeah, I mean, well, what do Texas and Florida have in common? They've been really easy to do business in. Same thing here. It's been a great experience already. We haven't even come here yet. So I would say yes. I mean, look at Arizona. There was a time when we, we first started this thing, If we were putting on an event in Vegas, you were going to pull people from Northern and Southern California, Arizona, Utah, you know, all the no-brainer states. Now it's become so big that we're actually, you know, we just went to Arizona and did a $6.5 million gate in Arizona on a fight night. You know what I mean? So it's all changing as the sport continues to grow. It makes sense now to come to Utah, to go to Arizona, to hit Texas 3 times in a year, 4 times in a year, and the list goes on and on. So yeah, we're at a whole different level now.
Dana, Scott Peterson with MMA Weekly. Welcome to Utah. Good to have you here.
Thanks, buddy.
It's been about 6 years since the UFC last came here, and it was kind of lackluster with the UFC fight card. What was the change of momentum, the change of mind? How did that process go of wanting to come back here?
Well, like I was just saying to him, obviously the sport has grown. You know, you can't compare where we are now to where we were 6 years ago. Not even close. You can't compare where we are now to pre-pandemic. You know, it's at a whole nother level. Brand new arena here. This city's booming too. Really, it's about the destination. It's not about anything different that we're doing other than growing the way that we should be growing. It's about how this city has exploded. You know, this place has always been a sports town, but now it's you know, these guys have soccer. They have, you know, they got a brand new arena. Tell me the last arena you were in that was nicer than this arena. You know what I mean? We're at a whole different level here than we were 6 years ago. And we're bringing a pay-per-view. And I heard we went the wrong night that night, too. I got a laundry list of stuff I could hit you with on.
Yeah, Sunday's not the best day to do it on. Ryan, can you tell us how this process went through? Did you reach out to the UFC, or did Dana reach out to you?
I think it was really a culmination of events. I think that it's always our team here has been trying and wanting to get a UFC ticket here for some time, especially a large pay-per-view ticket. It's something that we've talked about. I think Jeff and the folks at the Sports Commission have been thinking the same way. And then it was almost simultaneous. I'm very close with Ari and the folks at Endeavor, and we kind of all went at the same time. And I think it was also at a time where this growth from UFC is happening, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, like this works." And I mean, I'll let Dana talk about the other side of it, but that's from our side how it's gone, and it was really a group effort. And you know, we kind of thought a couple months ago that it was going to happen. I don't think we anticipated a card like this and this type of fight. And so we appreciate you all leaning in the way you have to make this a pretty monumental event. And, you know, success breeds success, so we won't disappoint.
Yeah, this thing was sort of firing at the same time with his relationship with Ari and our team over there. Pete, who handles all of our arenas, was already talking to these guys anyway, so it was a no-brainer, and it all came together pretty smoothly.
So as somebody that runs, you know, a venue and coming out of the pandemic, how hard is it to get acts or, you know, entertainment back in, or is it not hard? And I guess that was probably one of the bonuses of going with the UFC, since they're so pro getting back to it.
Yeah, I think a couple of things are happening. Number one is I think at some level, you know, something's changed where Salt Lake is not a flyover city and Utah is not a flyover state. And I think that's manifesting through concert tours, it's manifesting through events like this, and it's becoming a destination. And we've got a phenomenal team who runs our venue, runs concerts, been doing it for years, and I'm probably the newest member of that team, you know, only being in this chair for almost 2 years now. And then coming out of pandemic, I think I agree with everything that Dana said, where people want to get out, they want to have experiences, and we're providing that. I mean, whether it's basketball, whether it's concerts, whether it's UFC, I think people want to have a moment. And have a moment together, whatever that is.
Sean O'Connell, Sirius XM. Hey, Dana, good to see you. Curious if it took any convincing to get the pound-for-pound greatest fighter in the world to headline a show in Salt Lake City, given that, you know, gate and that kind of thing matter more for a headliner than they do for the average fighter on a card.
I'm sorry, say that. What was the? Was
it hard to get Kamaru to want to headline a show in Salt Lake City, given that we are...
Hell no. Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, no, He's in. They're all in, man. Listen, these kids, get the opportunity to fight in some of the greatest cities. And when you think about boxing, right, the way boxing used to do it, you fought in Vegas, maybe sometimes you fought at the Staples Center, and you fought in Madison Square Garden, Atlantic City. That was it. We travel all over the world and hit every state. For a lot of these kids to be, first of all, there'll be kids on the card, I'm sure, that are going to be from Utah that'll finally get to fight in front of their home crowd and, their home state, whatever it might be. And for these other guys to headline, for the first ever pay-per-view card in this arena in Salt Lake City, it's huge for guys like him.
I think you maybe already answered the second half of my question. The last time you were here in Salt Lake, there was like 5 or 6 Utahns on the active UFC roster. To my knowledge, Court McGee is the only one who still is, and he just got, unfortunately, finished in Austin. Will that be too quick of a turnaround? Can we see Court?
No, you could still. Yeah, you could. As these guys, we start to build the card out from top to bottom. I mean, we're doing like 15 fights a card now, 15, 16 fights a card. I'm sure we'll end up with a couple of guys from Utah on the card.
Thanks.
Yep.
Blake O'Reilly, Park City TV. Dana, is there going to be any sort of, is there going to be any welterweight contenders, maybe a Hamzat Chimaev in the crowd visiting here in Salt Lake City that night?
Yeah, listen, I don't know who's going to come to the fight, but every event, I mean, there's a whole, you got the row over here with all the fighters, and then there's usually a whole section of fighters. So that's the other cool thing, too. If you're from Utah and you're coming to this event, you're going to run into fighters all week. You're going to meet them. You're going to take pictures with them. This is one of the most accessible sports in all of sports. Our guys are awesome.
In Singapore, it might have been just a time difference issue, but there wasn't a press conference open to the public. Is there going to be one open for the Salt Lake fans?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, there should be. Well, why, you want one?
I would love one.
All right, we'll make it happen. If it's not going to happen, Lene will make it happen. Lene, make that happen.
And lastly, just to kind of follow up on Mr. O'Connell's question, do you have any names specifically, any Utah fighters, maybe a Mitch Ramirez? Caitlin Neal is currently on the Ultimate Fighter fighting out of Orem. Is there any names that you know off the top of your head?
No, not right now. We would have announced it coming in today, but there will be.
Thank you, Dana.
Yep.
Do we have any more questions?
This guy right here. In the maroon shirt in the second row.
Hi, Dana.
Hi.
Eric Walden, Salt Lake Tribune.
What's up, buddy?
Good. You mentioned Salt Lake City is exploding, exciting to come here. Salt Lake City's not generally had that reputation. Michael Jordan famously came here for the All-Star game and said, the greatest thing about Salt Lake City is it's a 45-minute flight from Vegas. What makes you excited about bringing the UFC to Salt Lake City? What makes it different this time?
It's that place now. Listen, Salt Lake City is on the map. I know you guys have this like chip on your shoulder because you think that this place hasn't arrived yet. You've arrived, okay? Believe me, Salt Lake City has arrived. This is a destination. It's a place where you can come and stay in great hotels, eat in great restaurants, shop. I mean, that's what people want to do. When people come in for a fight weekend, it's all about what's going on, how's the atmosphere. And the buzz and the energy of a UFC fight night starting on either Thursday or Friday night is awesome. There's nothing like it. And our people are going to come in from all over the world. We're going to take over the town. You're going to see UFC fans everywhere. You see fighters everywhere. And then the night of the fight, the town will be popping, and then we got to go in and do our job and blow everybody's minds that night and have people. You don't go to a UFC event and walk out and go, yeah, I don't ever want to see one of these again. I don't ever want to come back and do this again. So between what goes on in the city, what goes on in the arena that night, it's just, it's very, it's a word I'm looking for. It's, yes, thank you, sir. Yeah, so you guys have arrived. This is a big city. It's a destination. It's a place that people want to come and check out.
And Ryan, to you, you've spoken often about wanting to grow the brand of Salt Lake City, grow the brand of Utah. And you mentioned that you had people, interested in bringing a UFC event here for some time. Have you been a UFC fan for long? And I guess, what does it mean to you to have this event specifically kind of as the next step in that process?
Well, I think that part of understanding where we're at is that, I mean, we shouldn't hear that Salt Lake's arrived or Utah's arrived from someone who's popping in here. Like, we should start carrying ourselves the same way that Dana's describing it, because he just came in and said, hey, look, like, we want to be here. They can go anywhere in the world. Like, this card would sell out anyone in the world, and it's not like there was some favor. I mean, yeah, we all worked really hard, but if Utah couldn't meet the UFC where it's at and be here, easy to do business, the population, the tourists getting in and out, like it's become, all the work that's gone into Utah has become pretty phenomenal, and the growth. When it comes to UFC, you know, it's funny that the first time I went to a UFC fight was actually Mayweather and Conor McGregor in Vegas, and I was actually with Rudy Gobert and Raul Neto, and I actually was just a fan, and we were going down to an event with Fight for the Fight and the Jazz, and I was invited to go down, and they wanted to go to the fight, and we all went to the fight. And that was like one of my earlier experiences with UFC, and it's pretty cool to be hosting that here. So I think it's good, though. I think this is a big moment for the state, and like I said, I think it's the beginning of many. When we're going to be super successful, I don't think there's a doubt in anyone's mind that that's going to happen.
And to kind of expand on that, you know, there's cities that we go to that we do fight nights in. This is a fight night city. This is a pay-per-view city. This is a fight night city. We're coming here with a pay-per-view with the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, fighting the #1 challenger in the world. And, you know, this place is, it's not what it was 6 years ago when we were here. And the UFC isn't what it was 6 years ago when we were here. This is a place where, you know, 6 years ago, to do a pay-per-view here wouldn't have made sense because we could do it in Vegas. You know what I mean? And like I was saying, now we're hitting here. We've been in Arizona. It's just that Utah isn't where it was 6 years ago, and neither is the UFC. This is the spot. We're here. You'll see. You'll see. You and I will talk again on the 20th. Okay?
Thanks, Eric. That's good, though. That's a good question.
Alrighty, Roman Bleedlove, KSL.com. You've mentioned how fast Utah's been growing and all the new restaurants and activities here. Any plans for you to do Dana White looking for a fight and looking at some regional fighters while you're in town?
Yeah, you know, we're always looking for, you know, places to do that, and I've never done it in Utah. So, yes, sir, great idea.
Okay, another question. Nate Diaz yesterday mentioned that he'd like to be set free or have a fight in either July or August. Is there any possibility of having another superstar like a Nate Diaz coming to the fight night here in Salt Lake City?
Yeah, that could happen. Yeah, that could happen. He could end up on this card. I didn't say he is. Said he could. Because I know 30 guys are going to go out right that I said he did. He is. I didn't say that.